they are contemplating a future within 10 years where the main BBC channels will have no news bulletins because that won't appeal to young people. My point about that is, forget it. You've lost the youth audience and you're never getting them back.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And firstly, just to send my sincere best wishes to James and wishing him a swift recovery.
We'll pass them on, mate. Yeah, we will do.
Man.
But for me, I believe that hard-working, decent taxpayers across the UK are getting a raw deal with the BBC. The licence fee denies people individual choice. And it is crazy that in 2020 you can be criminalised for not paying your television licence. People in my community of Cardiff North are getting a raw deal, and it's about time that actually the government did something about it, and let's scrap the licence fee.
Yeah, but what about the idea that they think that if they banish the news bulletins, bearing in mind that the last thing that the BBC do very well, I think, is the news, but they're going to degrade that, demote that and put it online like they did BBC Three because young people don't want to watch the news. Well, I mean, that's ridiculous. Their audience isn't young people.
Well, it's for everyone, the BBC, isn't it?
Why isn't the BBC interested in their traditional audience?
It's ageism.
It is ageism. But
why?
why?
I think that we are asking the over 75s to pay their licence fee, which is a disgrace. And what we're going to do is we're going to take away the programmes, or the BBC rather is going to take away the programmes that they most frequently watch. Once again, it demonstrates that the BBC is out of touch with the British public, and it's about time something was done about it.
Yeah, this is Fran Unsworth, a lady who's in charge of BBC News. She said that within 10 years, she predicts the news will be in, quote, the digital space, and the BBC's output will be consumed via iPlayer on tablets and smartphones, quotes, for young people. Hey, Fran, you haven't got any young viewers and you're never getting them back. Why are they so obsessed with young viewers when young viewers don't care about them? They don't watch the BBC.
Well, I think what we're going to see shortly, Kev, are BBC presenters coming out fighting for the BBC. And, I expect them to do that if their salaries are being met by decent, hardworking taxpayers. They're going to want to fight to keep those salaries. But maybe just when the licence fee is scrapped, they'll realise that the private sector is not prepared to pay those large presenter salaries.
Yeah, I mean, that's another scandal, isn't it? That the amount of money that
Gary Lineker and that 10,000 pensioners to pay.
Well, I think I get angry about the £2 million a year people like him get for introducing football programs, but I also get angry about the hundreds of pointless executives on six-figure salaries that they pay
and pensions.
It's a system by which ordinary people are conned by Oxbridge graduates.
The gravy train.
Who end up at Broadcasting House, and we all have to give them money so they can pay themselves loads of salary.
Yen he retired with a 300 grand pension, and then he gets another job there anyway. And
it's all wrong, and people are realising this, and I think it's disintegrating before our very eyes. Would you agree, Joel?
Absolutely, Kev. People have the right to choose, in my view. If you do not want to watch the BBC, you should not have to pay your television licence. In the same way, if I don't want to watch Netflix anymore, I can cancel my subscription. I can't do that with my television licence fee. In 2020, it's time we scrapped the BBC licence fee and moved on and allowed people the power to exercise choice over how they spend their hard-earned cash.
Yeah, and actually that would probably make BBC output a lot more entertaining, because if they had the commercial imperative, they'd have to make programmes that people actually want to watch, as opposed to lecturing us with all their woke nonsense. Yeah. Most dramas now are like party political broadcasting on behalf of the woke party. The widening gap between the ethos at BBC HQ and the ethos of its audience is getting bigger by the day. It's a cultural disaster for the BBC. It's losing its way, and nonsense like suggestions.
It's lost its way.
Yeah, nonsense like suggestions they're going to get rid of the news are completely symptomatic of what's going wrong at this vast organisation, isn't it?
Well, it just shows that the BBC is once again out of touch with a top-heavy management structure. Another thing that demonstrates the BBC is out of touch. And don't get me wrong, the BBC does do some good things, and those good things should be protected and enhanced. But there is an awful lot which has to change with the BBC, and which is why it's a breath of fresh air to come on Talk Radio and actually have some non-partisan, unbiased reporting.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Joel. This is the home of free speech and common sense, and we're not biased. And what we're saying about the BBC here is more in sorrow than in anger. You know, I grew up with the BBC as the doyen of broadcasters that used to churn out fantastic entertainment for all the family, children's telly, great programs for the family, everyone,
documentaries, news.
Everyone,
the news is a bit biased now, though, as well, don't you think? Very much biased, in fact.
I think it's open to accusations of that. But
look at Emily Maitlis on Newsnight.
But I do think the BBC news department is one of its last jewels in its crown, and now we're hearing that they're moaning, it doesn't get enough viewers. So why should we bother with this? Young people don't.
It's not what it's about. That's the focused on viewers too.
Well, let's get back to that point, Joel. Why do you think the BBC just doesn't seem to like its traditional audience? And when I say that, I mean Middle England, Middle Scotland, Middle Ireland. You know, regular people. You know what I'm talking about. Middle-aged people. It doesn't seem to like them. It only wants to get young people, and young people don't care about it.
It's quite interesting, isn't it, Kev, that the biggest percentage of viewers BBC seems to be the section of society that the BBC doesn't like to produce content for. And, you know, you are right, the BBC has lost its way, and we want to try and pull it back, but I just think it's gone too far now. We need to scrap the licence fee, let the BBC sink or swim in certain sectors, and then the good parts of the BBC the government can support with sort of national content. We can do that, but it's about time something changes.
Do you know what? Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of the streaming services, they'd love this, wouldn't they, if they were able to say, okay, it's £15 a month for our services, and if you don't pay it, we'll send you to prison. You'll go to prison. It's an extraordinary business model that the BBC has got. It's the weirdest thing in the world. The only country in the world where if you don't pay for your television entertainment, you can be sent to prison. Why don't people in this country realise how bizarre, grotesque and obscene that is?
Well, I think it's scandalous that in 2020 you can face a criminal conviction for not paying your television licence fee. And actually, I've spoken to a number of people in Cardiff North, in my community, and they are over the age of 75, and they are going to refuse to pay their television licence fee. And you know what? I will be right there with them. It is unacceptable. It's about time the government steps in and does something about it. And you know what? I'm really hopeful the government will, because I know this government is in touch with decent, hard-working people up and down this country. So let's do something about the BBC. Let's scrap the TV licence fee.
I'll tell you what, Joel, I've seen in the papers a few of these redoubtable pensioners who said, one of them brilliantly said, I'm not going to pay my TV licence, and then when they fine me, I'm not going to pay it, and then they can take me to prison. And how do you think that will look for the BBC when me, an 89-year-old widow, gets taken into Wormwood Scrubs, or what would it be?
Well, it's already sexist because it's mainly women that are in prison tonight. For TV license.
So I'll tell you what, Joel, if you've got any redoubtable pensioners who feel like sticking their head above the parapet and talking to us about this, I'd love to talk to them.